this is the first ever programming stream on in 2018. It is kind of time to like revive this old project. So welcome back. Let's make sure that everybody grabs a drink and let's get into the project, because it's been such a long time since we've actually done one programming stream, or like at least this old project that we started a while ago. I think this, let me see. So the last commit was on February 2017. So that was last year. That was more than a year ago. And this PR is actually from September 2016 even. So we've definitely abandoned this project. I think in the meantime I've had some tiny updates. Yeah, this is all a year ago. Like we added yarn and we updated some dependencies, but our snick, I don't know how to pronounce this, but like this project, or this bot is actually reminding me that there's a lot of dependencies that need updates because they have vulnerabilities and stuff. So it's time to revive this project and see if we can get this PR out of the door, because this is kind of, if we get this PR out of the door, I think we can safely say that we've kind of proven that this is going to work. I don't think the current setup is scalable, and I don't think the way we set this up is the right approach, but it definitely has taught us a lot of things about how to structure it and how you could potentially go about this. Sup Crystal, sup Quinton, sup Lolderp King, how's it going? I saw Cinder in here too, how's it going? Sup Lars. So let's get this PR out of the door. I think this PR adds a lobby screen, but I think it does a lot more than that. So this is from a year ago, so let's take a look at what this is. So I added a GIF. I remember this. I remember I added this GIF. This is basically the thing that we built at the time. Wait, why can I not like full stream? All right, so this is the GIF. So you can create a game, then you have a lobby, you send this link to another person, and then he has to fill in a name. The interface is obviously ugly, but it does work. So now you have Bob against Inoid. Oh, this was it. This was all that was in the GIF. This is not the faux GIF. Oof. Okay, so this is not even a faux GIF. Let me see if I can actually run this, because I haven't actually tried. So let's see if we can actually get this project running. First thing we're gonna do, we're using yarn instead of npm at the time. So at the time we were using npm install instead of yarn. Yarn is just so much better, so much easier to use, so much more intuitive. So we're using yarn and it's faster, so that's always good. I think npm 5 is actually a lot faster than npm 4. I think I'm still using npm 4, 3 even, or maybe it's npm 4, I don't know. What's like the latest npm version? Do we know? I don't even know. Doesn't matter. So let's get this started. So yarn, and I think yarn start will just run the project. So we made a server. Let's open it up. It's building still. We're using Webpack 1 here. Like, that's one of the things that we have to fix. I think we can make a ton of like small PRs fixing these kinds of things, because we're still using Webpack 1. All right, so this is it. This is what we have here. So let's open another window, an incognito window, because it's sharing. It still recognized me as Inoid, so that is still in there. Let's make it the fist stick. All right, so we got him. So we're gonna start a new game. We simulated 1 second delay between the server. I think it has like a heart set timeout in there. Then we invite friend. We get this modal. It obviously has to be styled, but at least it works. I think this actually copies. We can paste it, open it in here. Fist stick and Inoid are now in the lobby. And then both players have to be ready. And as you can see, both windows actually can see what the current state is. So when one of the players readies up, then they both see. And then when we both ready up, a countdown kicks in, which is still has to be styled too. So that's also part of today's job. And then we go into game, and this is where we actually get to play Hearthstone. Obviously, the enemy's cards are not synced yet. That is something we have to do. But at least Fistic is actually the first one to get a turn. You can see that it's sleeping. The other person doesn't see that it's sleeping, unfortunately. But I'm not sure if that's in Hearthstone. I'm not sure if that's actually in the game. So you can end the turn. I get a card, and then I can play something too. The coin card doesn't work, but we can easily get that working too, I think. Oops. I have to click it at the exact right position. And as you can see, there's still some glitches and like some tiny stuff that we want to get fixed. I think this whole thing should be the drop zone, and then it just like renders it right here. But at least it works. So the coin is actually a minion now. It doesn't make any sense, but it kind of works, you know? So we can end the turn, we get the Kappa card. I can't play, but I can at least attack now. So I could attack, I'll go face here. So my character lost 2 health because I have 2 attack, and then I end the turn. All right, I can place another card. I can place the Abusive Sergeant, and then I'm gonna kill his minion, and I'm gonna end the turn. So it is working. This guy has the OP card, the Kappa card. He can't attack yet though, but he's definitely gonna win. We're gonna place that card too, but there's no way in hell that I can actually kill this guy. Coin minion poggers, yeah, dude. What's up, Hellblood? How's it going? So I think we're just gonna go face, and then hope for the best that we don't die against the crazy Fistic Kappa card. So this thing is obviously gonna go face, and then next turn he's dead. So I think we somehow have to like kill this one, because otherwise we're gonna lose. So we're gonna do that. And now we're gonna go face again. And then we have Azure Drake. And then this guy can kill this guy without dying, so let's do that. And we have a rare parry card that only has health. But there's no such thing as taunt. But it does work. Let's place another Azure Drake here. I think we're gonna lose. I have a feeling that the Kappa card of 3 mana, 7/7. Oh no, 3 mana, 12/5 or something, is a little broken. But I think we gotta go face here because we've got nothing to lose. And then we're gonna place this card, 9/9. Let's go. And I think we're already lost at this point because I have 7 health and I can't kill this. So we're kind of fucked here. So we're just gonna go face a BM. And then we're gonna place this, and then we're gonna hit face, and then we lost. But we can continue because there's no such thing as an end game yet. So we can just continue playing, even though I'm dead. We can just continue on. There's a max of 7 cards or 7 minions on the map. So we're pretty much there, you know. We're pretty far. We're pretty far into the game. This is a lot of rules that still have to be fixed, and like a lot of cards that are missing, and no deck creation and anything. But it's a start, you know. It's pretty cool that it works. And you just can't see the other players' cards, but that's fine. Okay, so this is what we currently have. It's not bad, I would say. I don't think it's bad. So let's look at the code. I'm actually curious what the code will look like because I haven't touched this project in forever. So we switched from Sublime Text to VS Code because it's really performant and it works really well and it's really extensive. On this MacBook, because I always use my work laptop, my work MacBook, I don't have any styling on VS Code, so it looks a little ugly. So maybe we should install a theme so you guys' eyes don't start bleeding. So let's do that. I always go with the material theme, so I think there's material theme, just an extension that I can use. And that's it. That makes it so much easier. Oh, install. Beautiful, beautiful. So what this today's job is, honestly, is just to get this PR out of the door. The whole idea here was to have like a similar experience as like the Age of Empires lobby stream, but since you only have 2 players, we can change the no settings. You can kind of change the balancing out anyways. So what we just have is 2 cards, kind of like the Overwatch cards at the end, and then you can just ready up. And then the cool thing could be is that we could actually add a chat in there too, but for now that's out of the picture. So just I'm ready, and then when both players are ready, you can start the game. So maybe we should have a lobby leader. So there's one person is like the captain of a lobby, and then you can ready up, and then once both players are ready or all players are ready, you can then hit the start button, because now it automatically starts, but maybe like you weren't ready yet, or like, oh, just give me 1 sec, but were you both ready up? But for now we're just gonna keep it the way it is because we don't want to spend too much time. So we're not gonna update any dependencies yet. We're gonna do that after this PR is out. So let's look at the code. So we have folders for every container. We have components here that are doing a bunch of stuff, like the countdown component, which just renders a countdown for now because there isn't much better stuff yet for that countdown. So let's go to the lobby. Let's make a new lobby. Something we have to do is we have to style these buttons, I think. I think we should have a button component like this. But since we just want to make it functional, in my opinion, this already works, so I'm fine with that. I think the countdown could be a little better, so I think we're gonna just work on that for now. I think we have React modal in here, but we don't have a separate portal. So I think I'm gonna pull in React portal and then render something that overrules the whole screen. But we can also do it with setIndex, but I think it's a little nicer if we can just actually portal it out, but might be a little overkill here. So let's get this countdown started. Sup Talon, how's it going? So how do we use CSS in here? I can't even remember. Okay, so we're using class names and then styles, so we import styles. Okay, gotcha. So one thing I've learned while working at my job is that there's something called utility classes, which is really cool. Really cool concept that we should all start to use, because it reduces the amount of CSS that you write by so much. So normally you would do something like this, and this is what we all still do every now and then. So you have a nav, and then you have a variant of that nav, and then you have a subcomponent. Nina, thank you so much for the host. So you have like a subcomponent, and then another component, and then another component. It's, you know, it's cool, but you know, we have to do a lot of work all over and over and over. So let's say you have like a separate color, like an orange color that's like my primary color, like this and this. Then both components have to use like some sort of variable, even though they do the same thing, right? They both have a background color of the same color. So what if you could just say, I want like the background, background primary. And that all this class does is like it does like background color and then the primary color or something like that. That's all it does. And then you can apply this to anything. And if you have like a component-based system where you put everything in tiny components that you reuse, then it doesn't matter if it has like a fuck ton of classes on there, like background primary, and like if your div has like background primary and color white, and it's using flexbox, so it's using display flex, and then it's also using something else, you know. So you're basically composing this component into tiny CSS parts that you only need, and then if you ever were to make a variant that doesn't need like that doesn't render flex, or that has a different color, or like it changes something, you can just remove the class or change the class for something else based on the component that you're using, which makes which makes it a lot easier to write your components, because all you have to care about is just writing this thing, and the only thing you have to know about is like what the classes are. But you don't have to go in any CSS file. You don't have to switch between those two files anymore and write some new CSS, because all you have to care about is just, oh, this time I need like a background that is a background that's primary. Let's do that, and then I want the color to be white, so I do color white, and then I want it to be sans serif, my sans serif font that I made, and I have let's think here. It needs padding by 2, the padding of a scale of 2, and this is gonna like make it so much easier to prototype your component, because you can also just go in here and you can just take this and then just add a class like, oh, I need some padding 2 here, and I need some flex box, and I need something else, which makes it a lot easier to prototype your component and get things started. And your CSS is so minimal because there's no duplicated lines ever, except for doing hovers and stuff. So like if you ever have to do a hover state on something, you can just you probably have to write some CSS for that, because that's like super specific, unless you can't you write like utility class for those two, like hover color blue, but then you get like super specific. You could, but it might end up in a lot of CSS that you don't use. But that's cool. I mean, eventually, I think we should do the same approach here, because there's, all this CSS does is like position relative. Like, why can I not have a class that does just exactly that? Position relative. And it does exactly that. And then I can remove this, and anywhere else I use position relative, I can just use this class instead. So you're writing classes instead of CSS, which makes it a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. It speeds things up a lot. You will always still have like specific scenarios where you have to write CSS, or like where something you don't want to make a utility class for 35 vertical height. Like that's super specific to the component. But all this background color stuff and box shadow, you just want to have skills for those. Which is cool, you know, you learn from time to time. This is what we used to do, and we do things different now. Sup HCL's Gaming, how's it going? Okay, so the first step we're gonna do is we are going to fix the countdown. So the countdown right now, it just renders the countdown. So let me go to the countdown container. Do I have a countdown container? I don't think this should be a container, but or does the game lobby know about the countdown time? I hope it doesn't. So we have a countdown manager. Oh, I see. So we have a countdown manager. Where's that coming from? It's a container. Okay, that's weird, but it's fine. But we're using a render function here. Wait, is it too small for you guys? I can upgrade. Oh shit! It increases the size of everything. That sucks. Can I improve? Oh, the editor font size. So let's make it 24. Oh, that's really big. 16. Okay, that's a little better. I think this is more readable for you guys. Okay, so we have a countdown manager that is just has some state on when the component is mounted, it starts counting down. Unless it's already started. So whenever we render this, so we only render this whenever the countdown can start, you know. So this is already pretty cool. So like when we render this, it starts counting down, and then at the current time, you can render whatever you want here. So like the consumer of this component, I think this should just be called countdown, and then this countdown should just be like a, I don't know what we should call these. But right now we're just having a countdown manager that can just count on anything. I can just increase this to like 60. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do like a 10,000 or something. Wait until this is compiled. I left the game because I have to make a new game because state is not in there. So let's add ourselves to this. So let's invite a friend, copy this, open a new window. I don't really care about that window, honestly, so Bob. Okay, let's ready up. And now it starts counting down. So it starts counting down from 10,000. So what we want to do is we want to have this countdown component probably take up the full size of the window, vertically center it, have like a dimmer, and then white text, maybe. What's like a cool countdown? Let's see. Should we make this like one of those old school ones? I think that's too old. I don't think that fits with the UI. Could be cool though. I think we possibly could. I think we could. We would just have to animate something that turns in circles whenever it's rendered, and then for like per second, it takes like a second to get to the other side. So the animation should take 1 second, and then once it hits there, it goes to the next number. What's up, Aaron? How's it going? What is like a cool countdown animation? What would be something cool? I think we just want the text to become bigger. So let's make some CSS for this, because that's the old way we're doing things. Let's make a CSS file for this. Import the CSS. It's like we did here. So we're using the old prop types too, and old React. It's kind of old school. All right, countdown. All right, so let's write some CSS for this. So we have countdown. Whenever we count down, oh, it's using 4 spaces. No, I want 2 spaces. How do I change this? Oof. Thank God. Okay, we're good. How have you been, by the way, Ervin? So this countdown is gonna have a position fixed, top 0, bottom 0, right, left 0, and right 0. And then it's gonna have a background color of RGBA 000 and then 0.5 or 7. So there's like opacity of 75 for the black dimmer, and then we would have the countdown text. I'm not sure if we do this. Do we do just? I don't even know. This is such an old project. I can't even remember. Oh, we're just doing this. Okay. So it's countdown text is gonna be color white. God, this is old school. What's up, Medeum? How's it going? Is that how I pronounce it? I think so. So Marine, how's it going? Been playing some games and I finally broke the 3-star mark on in Osumania. Who the fuck plays that, man? Come on. Alright, let's add styles and then just countdown. Is that how we do this? Is that how we used to do things? Styles.cart. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's just an object. Okay, so we have this. This is kind of the wrapper. And then we need some text. So it doesn't matter what this is. We could just make it an H1. We can make it a div. Doesn't matter. And then we take the styles and then countdown text. And let's see what this renders. This is not going to be in the center, though. So we could probably make this a display flex. And then items, align items, center, and then justify center too. It's been a while since I've actually wrote some CSS, because honestly, if you go utility classes, you will just never write this anymore. You would just not have to know the syntax. You just know the class, and that's it. That's all you do. All right, let's save this. People shit started over again, so let's make a new game. Invite a friend. copy this, paste it in here, ready up. All right, so this text definitely needs to be bigger, but at least it's a start. So what we want to do is we don't want this countdown to be clickable. So we want pointer events none. So this makes it that when you click anything, you cannot like click on any of the things that are within this. So let's make this a little bigger. Let's make the font size a little bigger of like 64 pixels. Fuck it. All right, compiled. Kind of sucks. We still have to work on the dev tools here because everything is super slow. Because it removes the state every time. There's no hot reloading. All right, that's better. So now countdowns 10,000 seconds. I can still select things though, so I think the pointer event is not working. Because is this the portal? I want to make use of that portal if we already spawned one. But this thing should be Z-index like 1,000,000. And we shouldn't have to do this because you can also just like render a new just make a portal, but this is fine too. I play it and it's fun. Osa Mania, man. Programming is so confusing. I mean, it's like if you don't know it, then yes, it is. It is definitely confusing. It's still being able to select this. It is because the pointer events is on this thing, but I don't know why, because this thing should be over the rest. So let's grab this text. And then where is our countdown? Here's our countdown. And then our countdown has Z-index 99999, but the rest is still selectable. All right, let's just render it in a portal. I think that makes things a lot easier. What's up, Husky? How's it going, dude? Long time no see. A vote for the names of the CSS to be changed to ZZZZ. I mean, fuck you, dude. What's up, Connor? How's it going? Ready to wait 2.5 hours for the game to start? Right? That's it, dude. That's how things work. What's up, Flying Troll? I mean, we have to structure this whole thing differently, but that's what we're gonna do today, man. We're just gonna get this PR out of the door because this is a 1.5-year-old PR. So like, it's a little painful to work with this old ass code, but it's fine. We're chilling. We're chilling. Okay, so fuck this. Let's see what our package JSON looks like. We have React modal. Let's add a React portal. It's gonna make things a lot easier for me. How are you sending info between the two clients? I'm using WebSockets for those. What's up, Battle Noob? How's it going? Worked on some Python code about a year ago. Dear God. Dude, it's always, the thing is that it's always a challenge to get your project up and running again. Like, dependency, you forget to like version your dependencies, like hard version it. So like, I think I did that here. Yeah, I did hard version it. But like you have like, you update your minors or your majors, and then you just like start up your project. It uses the old fucking Python version, or it uses your old Node version, and then it breaks for some reason, or like it does. It's always a hassle, man. It's always a hassle. Yeah, I think this one should take care of the portal. Let me actually see what the current syntax is for the React portal, because I honestly don't know. But let's just do this first, and let's see if it works. I don't think it's gonna work, but maybe. Oops. Does anyone here want to write my thesis for me? Sure, man. Could you say that again? I'm using webs. Wait, let me show you the architecture. So, oh, we're actually doing hot reloading, but it's not working. At least not with the state. So, we create a socket client. So we have a socket IO client and our backend. I think the server is in here. Yeah, the server's in Webpack. Doesn't make any sense, but fuck it. So here we open up after the server is started. So the normal Express server is started. We also open up a socket connection using the socket IO server, and we have a couple of channels that we let people listen to, like game join, game leave, game start, and action. This is ugly. Why did I call it bind socket curried? It is a curried function, but I don't know. You shouldn't probably call this curried. Yeah, we're using socket IO server. Yeah. Never understood React. Always wanted to learn it, but never had the chance to learn it. It's fairly simple. It is fairly simple. I can tell you that. But if you don't have a lot of moving parts in your application, it's not worth it. If you don't have like things that depend on other things and you have like front-end models, if you just use the backend, then why even bother? But if you have like front-end logic where you get stuff from the server and then you have to connect things to each other, like if you fill in something in an input field and you want to show it somewhere else, or like you have something that is stored somewhere else, and when you switch pages you want it to still be persistent or something like that, it makes it a lot easier if you use some sort of framework, because they solve that issue for you. But basically you can consider it this. So normally you have HTML, right? So you have like a div, and then why is it using 4 spaces? Okay, this is triggering me. Indent editor tab size. What the fuck? Hello? No. Never. What? Get out of here. Okay, so we have this HTML. And let me think of something. Let's say you have a button, right? So let's say you have a button. And why is it still using, okay. Triggered. Insta trigger. Okay, so we have this button, and we use this button everywhere, right? So we use this same styling for a button, so it has these classes like a button and button. This is just a normal button, a white button. But sometimes you want to have a primary button, which is orange. So you have this class that adds button primary, right? Using BEM here. So you have like a normal button and then a variant of the button, which is button primary, right? It's like primary button. And then you have another one, secondary button. Just painful. I should just use, I'm not even sure if I have that. What is that thing called again? Where you like, you can write this. Oh, I can actually do that. Anyways, so we have these 3, right? But they all base off this. You can consider this a component. It's like a button component. You use it everywhere, right? If you structure your CSS, you have this component, and the only thing it does is it renders this button. But you have different variants too. And if, like, for example, you have logic in your application where you have like this huge, you have this section, and then depending on whether the user is going to whether they, okay, so let's say you have okay, wait, let me show you. Yeah, it's fine. I haven't used this computer in forever. So let's say we have this page, and we have a table in here, and the table has rows, right? The table has rows, and then we have this input, this checkbox, right? This is like a pretty straightforward thing. Like, all those table rows have inputs. And then if you select one of those, you want to have a delete button to appear. So you want a delete button whenever you selected something, or you want to have a delete button above here. Delete button. You want to have a delete button up top here whenever any of these are selected. And then when you unselect, you want this to be removed. So like you want to have something that responds to some change in UI. You want to change the UI based on like user input, kind of. Managing this just with JavaScript is a pain in the ass, because first you have to have event listeners, an event listener on change, and then you want to make sure that the state of that checked corresponds to this delete button. But maybe you want to have something else too. Maybe if you maybe it's not only this checkbox that triggers that delete thing, but also somewhere else on the page. Like whenever you click this button, I don't know what UI would actually do that, but let's say you have another button here, a green one, and whenever you click this thing also becomes visible or something. Like I don't know. Then you need event listeners on this, on change, and then you need an event listener click here, and then when does this thing show, and when it doesn't show, and then you get another. So your PO, your product owner comes to you and he comes with a request from a client like, yeah, so there's this edge case for this client that like wants to be able to delete, wants the delete button to show on some other fucking reason. And then all of a sudden you have to like think, oh shit, because of the change that I did on the checkbox click handler, I now have to make sure that the button up top is still rendered, because that if the client has that feature on for their website, then I have to also show this constantly. Like I don't know, there can always be some fucking reason for added functionality. So you wrote this really elegant way of like handling these checkboxes and then also handling this button, and then there's another edge case. We also wanted to have a feature toggle that we can toggle on for specific clients of us, and then all of a sudden this thing becomes such a mess. And then what you will end up with is like when you click this, it accidentally doesn't show anymore because you've removed this click here and it was dependent on this one. So for some reason you end up with this fucking spaghetti of shit, which is hard to manage. So React has a different approach to this. So let's say you have this piece of UI, right? And we have normal JavaScript functions like this. So like do something, right? Just a normal JavaScript. We all know JavaScript functions, right? This is just a normal function. So what if calling a function like this would actually poop out UI? That's like the mindset. That's like the mindset of React. That's how you should think about it. So we have this function called button, or you could say like render button, but in React it would be like this, just a button, and it returns this piece of UI. Just think about that. Don't think about the internals of how that works. Just think about this. You have a function. Whenever you call this, it renders exactly this button. Okay, that works. But now every single time I call this function, so when I call this, it renders this button with the text button, you know? That's not really, you can't really change that very easily, right? That's kind of shitty. So we want to be able to make this a little bit more reusable, you know? We don't want always to have this text button. We want to be able to change this. Okay, we can do that. So normally whenever you call a function, right? Whenever you call a function, you can pass it stuff. So let's say, all right, let's say we wanted to change the text of the button. So let's add a parameter here for this function, and let's just render some text here. right? This is not the exact syntax of React. I'm just saying that you should think about it this way. So it's just a function that takes a tiny bit of text, and then it renders a button based on that text. So whenever I call it with button void, it would render out this UI with void. Do I want a different version of the button? Sure. We turn it into, you know, like click me, and then it would result into this. You don't know. This is just like just theory, right? I'm just explaining like theory what this would do. I'm not saying like this is exactly how React works, but I'm just saying like in theory this is how you should think about it. So like it has a function. You call this function and it poops out UI based on whatever you pass it. So let's say we want another one. So we have these different versions of this button. Instead of like having like an extra parameter here for like the variant that we're gonna use, we're just gonna call this first argument props, and it's an object like this. So instead of passing button here, we want it to be props.text, and then we want to have render this class. Let's make this a little different. So let's add a variable here called classes, and then by default it has a button, and then whenever props.variant equals, all right, we can do it differently. It's a little bit more readable. So by default it has the button class. If props the Damie, thanks so much for the host. If props the variant equals primary, then we want classes to have the extra class called button primary. Not very elegant. I'm just saying this is still understandable code, right? This is still understandable code. We call this function, you pass it some properties, and we just take the variant off of those properties, and if it matches the primary, then we add that to the class, and then in the end we're just gonna render the classes here. All right, fairly understandable still, in my opinion. If you're already confused, watch it back and rethink. This is kind of like how you should think about it. So what we've got now is something we can extend constantly. So what if we need a secondary button? Well, we just add this extra if statement here. It's obviously not the most pretty fucking code, and there's definitely better ways to do this, but I'm just saying like the whole logic is in one place. So secondary. Not Python, don't understand. If phone is on, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. So it's still understandable. And obviously this is not the code that we're gonna end up with in production. Obviously, I'm just saying like if you were to look at things super simple, this is how you would do it. And then let's say we have another function. So let's have our big app function that does exactly the same thing. It takes properties and it renders UI. Think about that. But this one is way bigger. Like it has like it renders a div first, and it has a header, and then it has like a main block here. It's like your whole application, man. It's fucking big. Holy shit. Fucking amazing. You've done such a good job of making this. And then, well, you know, you want to show that this user is logged in, but only whenever he's actually logged in. So we kind of want to have an if statement here. So let's, you know, think about that. Let's just say pseudocode, right? This is not actual React. Let's say we do like if statement here. So it's like if, and then logged in, poop out this, else, and if, or something like that. Sounds good. This is not actual like how we should do it. So when we're logged in, we want to render logged in. But how do we check if it's logged in? Oh, we make that come from props. So whenever we render big app, we want to know whether or not the user is is logged in. So whenever we call this, we want to call it like this. Logged in, false, or true. Right? So that's what we should think about. All right, so we have this, cool and all. So let's say props that is logged, what was it? Logged in. So whenever he's logged in, we show the user. So we also show his username. Bob Ross. Props stud username. But if he's not logged in, we want to render this button. Let's just do it. Let's just call this function, pass it some stuff. Like, what should it do? What was it? Text. Oh yeah, text. Text is log in. And if you think about your UI this way, your UI becomes as simple to reason about as just calling functions. This big application, your state now lives outside. So like you can have like an object here, your whole application state, and your username, Bob Ross, can now live outside. This doesn't have anything to do with rendering your application anymore. Your whole application is just about rendering that UI for whatever you pass it in. So if you're logged in, you want to render this application. If you're not logged in, you want to render this version of the application. So every component knows about what it has to do for a specific situation. This button knows that it doesn't know anything about like this whole application. This button only knows about what it should render. It should render this. It should poop out this part of UI. And then React does all the magic for you. This is obviously not syntax, but it's also easier to reason about. So if logged in, you should log it in, else render a button. You know, that's kind of what it is. That's all it does. And then React has some like syntactic sugar for you, so you can actually make this a button component, and then the property text would be rendered like this. Log in. And then this if statement doesn't actually work like that. So it would be like props that is logged or logged in. You could do like a ternary, or you can make an if statement here. So like login header or something like that renders out this. So by default it does this. And if the props log in, for example, you could overwrite this. It's just one way. Like it's all JavaScript, so you can just come up with your most elegant way of doing this. It's one way of doing things. And then you would just render this. Oh wait, we have to, yeah. Okay, this works. Just plump in the login here. But this is already like super difficult. This already makes it so much harder to reason about. That's just it. This is all you have to think about. Just look at it as this. A function. Whenever you call it with some properties or arguments or whatever you want to call it, parameters that poop out UI. That's all React is. That's all there is to it. But this is how you should think about it. It is a function, you call it with the set of arguments, and it always renders the exact same thing you tell it to do. Because a function that has all the arguments inside will always render the exact button in the exact same way. If you think about it like this. Think about it. This button, if I set the text to Boyd, it will always render out button Boyd. Always. There's no situation where this is not the case. And then if you do it the other JavaScript way, you would have to query select, and then you have 4 things query selecting something that rendered somewhere else, and then something changes based on button clicks, and then it becomes such a hassle. But if you can say button text, and then your parent, like the one level above that calls this button function, can like decide like if in the JavaScript, if logged in, I want to render a button that is awesome, and all this button knows, log me in. All this button knows about is how to render this. That's all it does. All right, that was my tiny little bit of an example of how you should think about React and why everybody's like approaching it that way. Hardest thing is thinking about components, not about views. True. But views have their own spot too. I mean, something has to know the logic about like how to compose or like what to render. But welcome, Koza. How's it going? It's just something to think about. So like if you were to render this, and if you look at it from a components, this is just a button. This is also a button. Maybe a button big, or maybe this is maybe a button delete, or like a red button. And then it takes text. And then this could be a table component. And then you could reuse those. And all this thing does is it knows what to render. And then maybe this one is a checkbox component. And then all this thing, this wrapper right here. Yo, Wolfie, thanks so much for the host. How's your stream, dude? So, and this thing is your application. This gray thing is your application. And this thing is the one that keeps track of like which one I selected. Should I render this delete button or not? So you could say like, this thing has like knowledge of like checkboxes, selected checkboxes. And then this one, yeah, that's it. So this is the state. And if this one is clicked, then it changes this to have like a index 0. And then this thing will re-render itself. And now it's basically called like this. So app selected checkboxes is now this. So exactly that state right there. And your application would react to that change. So like, oh, it sees, oh, this thing was before, it was like this. And now it's like this. I have to re-render. And then here in the code, it has like this if statement. If there are any selected checkboxes, this could be like your logic. So if there's any checkboxes, if there's any selected checkboxes, render this piece of shit. Okay? Could be something. Could be something. That's exactly how I explain components to juniors. You have a view where you want to render to-dos, and components like to-do list component that has an n number of to-do entry components. Yeah, exactly. So like, whenever I click on this, and this checkbox only knows like whether I'm checked, when I'm not checked. If you click on it, like if you change this, so let's say, and this makes it super easy. We have an on click on this one. On click, whenever you click this, let's just make it simple. So this is a function on click. Whenever you click on this, select all checkboxes or something. And then all it does, it takes all these checkboxes and it puts them in this array. That's all it does. And then the app knows like, oh, I got a new state. I got a new something I have to render, man. I got this. This has changed. Oops. I gotta re-render. And then when you click on this again, it unselects all checkboxes. So whenever unselect all checkboxes whenever you change this. So whenever you clicked on this and all of them are selected, so there's actually 2 here. maybe. I don't know. It just depends on how you want to like orchestrate your UI. So let's say this beautiful thing right here is like, if all of the things are selected, all selected or something, then it is this one. Else, we only have to swap out the on clicks, but this is a little easier to reason about. Select all. Boom. Oh no, we also have to change the buttons a little bit because of the text probably. So this is all your logic you have now. Render something based on whatever comes from top. So let's say is all selected. You could do it like this, or you could calculate how many checkboxes there are that you want to render, and then based on that we can check whether or not there's so many ways. But it already becomes a little more complicated. But this is like how you should think about it. You have this top level thing that knows your stuff, or it can be somewhere down the tree that knows something, but you have this one thing that should know about like what it should do, and then inside here, this thing is going to decide whether or not it should do something. Whenever all the checkboxes are selected, we should change the text here or something. I don't know. It's all up to your imagination. But if you have stuff like this that has to react to other things, if you have a simple application, like you just poop out UI and you just only want to, if you type something or something, do some validation, it works with React. Do you need React? Maybe. But honestly, like if you just do simple stuff with your JavaScript, maybe some animations or something, like, or some on click, you don't need it. Like what React really shines is if you have like complicated UI like this. This is fairly complicated, you know, like you want to do something based on whatever you selected, and you want to show a piece of UI based on like what is selected. That's like reacting to user input. If you want to do that, it becomes already so much harder if you manage that with just your JavaScript. Because then this needs on click, on change events, and then you want this thing to also know about this button, and then who is responsible for rendering this thing? I don't know, like the DOM is, so you just delete this button from the DOM, or you like hide it, and then you want to trigger and hide. Like it's so complicated. What's up, Stack? How's it going? Where did you learn all this? Honestly, it was all by myself. I went to uni and we were learning mostly backend there. So we were learning a lot of Ruby, and which is already weird because I wasn't on a computer science study. So I was studying communication and multimedia design. So there was a tiny little bit of web design there, which also involved a little bit of backend, which was Ruby. I love it. I like Ruby. It's just a little slow. And it consumes a lot of memory, but it's getting better. It's getting better. I like the syntax. I think it's good for learning. There's a lot of magic though, so in that sense, it's not good for learning. But there's a lot of stuff that is taken out of your hands, so it makes for really elegant code. And so if you want to learn how to write elegant code, I think Ruby is really good. What's up, Chris? How's it going? So I learned, like, I studied communication and multimedia design. I started as a designer, and then I wanted to program, so I started doing backend. Like, I already had my own company, WordPress, obviously. Just learning WordPress, making websites with WordPress. So I wanted to learn better how the backend works, like how does PHP work or something like that. And we started to learn Ruby, we started to use the command line a lot more. It got interesting, but the thing as a designer, was missing an interaction with the actual people that would use my shit, you know? Like if you're working in the backend, nobody's gonna interact, you know? There's no interaction with the actual end user. It's just like send data, work with it, like do your shit. Using PHP Laravel at the moment, it's cool. That's cool. It's cool. Ever just started with WordPress? Yeah. So, as a designer, the designer inside me was like screaming for like, I want to work with the user. And then I got this little space in between called front end, which is exactly that. You know, like there's more and more application logic inside the more and more business logic too inside the front end now. That the programming in the front end is actually super interesting now. There's a lot of architectural work that has to be done there, and you're still working with UI, so you're still working with the end user and with designers and backenders. It's the perfect situation for me. And then at uni, I started like working with a little bit of Angular, but I didn't like it that much. And then at some point, React came to the table when I was at my internship. So they were like, "Oh yeah, React is a new fucking amazing thing. It's like so easy to reason about." And I was like, "Oh, that seems cool. Let's just do it." So I just followed the hype train. And from that point on, I did another project at uni doing that shit. It was nice. I'm gonna get some more water. My throat is dry now. But from that point on, I was set. I was settled. React is like super easy. But on the other hand, there's definitely some flaws too. Not in React's design, but in like the ecosystem. Because for me, React as like an ecosystem is like so composable and so like do it your own way that there's no like, there's a tiny little bit of conventions, but it's only because based on UI. So like, how should you compose your components, or like how should you structure things or something like that. But because UI, like React is only UI, doing like the UI changes, there's so much variety in like how to manage state, how to do async stuff, like how to manage state whenever it comes from the server, how to do server-side state, and like everybody's all over the place. Like everybody's all over the place. It's insane. Like people structure it in 20,000 million ways, and then everybody's always complaining that it doesn't work for them, or like there's one way that works for them and one way it doesn't work for them, and then nobody actually knows how to like. Everybody's always like scared that they're doing it the wrong way, so they keep on changing. While with other frameworks like Angular, it's a little bit more set in stone, like how to structure things and like where to separate your concerns, and like where's the barrier between what should live in the component and what should live in containers and what should be managed somewhere else. And I think it's not a React problem, it's like an ecosystem problem where we're not creating any conventions at all. We're just letting them go with the flow, which creates a lot of ideas, but it also breaks, like it forces you to continue learning new things and new ideas, but at some point it leads to the fatigue, you know, like if you're starting out, you do not know how to structure your application, you just gotta make mistakes, and then you can basically rewrite your whole application, which is scary stuff in my opinion. So I wish we would have like some more conventions, or like, yeah, I don't know. I wish there was from the React like top people, I wish there was more conventions, so like some more whole application way of doing things instead of just a React way. But yeah, it's different per use case obviously, but I wish there was more like that. There's a lot of the same applications, just CRUD and stuff like that, just CRUD applications, create, read, update, delete. Yeah. But oh well. I'm gonna grab myself some water. We haven't actually done any coding. Feels good, man. What's up, Killed? How's it going? Whew. Never touched WordPress? Fuck that. I mean, if you're working with clients, man, you have to. Alright, let's see. Oh, this is actual React portal. Let's just use this one. I'm not sure what version we have now. Like, it's using 16. Has fallback for React 15. Okay, I think we're using 14. But I think 14 isn't even a thing. Oh, we're using 15. I updated. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. What's up, Colin? How's it going? Your buzz doing fine? Nice. Portal with state? Like, what is going on here? Is open. What? Yes, it's always open. Okay, let's set it to open. I just wanted it to always be open. Portal with state. It's just always open. Alright, let's see if this works. What's the issue here? Something with CSS. Save again. What's the issue? No such file, node modules, SAS vendor. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Okay, that was interesting. Is there an error in my CSS? Did I not write proper CSS, chat? Seems okay. Okay, let's open this. That's weird. Oh. Is this Prodigy playing in the background? I don't know. It's the song is here. It's Debris and Dazers Double D. It's just oh, it's not. It's broken. So it is broken for some reason. So what's the reason? Did I not rename the file? Countdown.scss. That's what it is, right? Countdown.scss. I don't know. I don't know what happened. This is correct. Maybe it's the portal. Maybe the portal requires CSS. That's it. Do you want to toggle the... Oh, we can just use portal. See? We can just use portal. We don't need is open. Cool. It's just using create portal. Cool. That's nice. But does it need anything? React DOM, React portal. What the fuck? Comes with a package with some extra goodies. You're okay with giving up some flexible for convenience before... I don't even know, dude. I don't know why it's breaking. No typos, right? I honestly have no idea what this... Okay, let's close this. Let's read it. Let's read the errors. Ah, that's new. What the fuck, man? It can't find node sass? Oi. Since when? Wait, so what does this happen? Oh. Yeah, this one. Exactly this issue. What the fuck? Where does this come from? What the fuck, man? I know I'm using an old node sass module, but... Okay, what's the issue? In package.json, it's looking for the vendor directory, which doesn't exist. Wait, which version am I using? What the fuck? Why didn't this happen before? This only happened after we added this. 4.5. When did we update this? Oh, I don't have that plugin. Okay. All right. Interesting. I don't know when this happened, but let's... after I'm done with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, when do I transition to math to help myself program better? It depends on what you have to do, honestly. I mean, if you want to learn like these like algorithmic stuff, I feel like my webcam isn't sharp. If you want to learn algorithmic stuff, then you don't even need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like, there's no reason. You just straight up go to backend. And when did I change this? Update dependencies. It's like a year ago. All right, where's my boy Sus? 4.5 from 3.10 to 4.5. Wait, but why did it work? The fuck? I really don't understand. Where is it going wrong? Okay, let's empty out this file. Why is all the node says shit broken? Okay, let's just delete all the node modules. What a time to be alive. Sup, Cozy, how's it going? Long time no see, man. Where you been? Oh. I honestly think that I had a Node.js version compiled that was still the old one. I really believe that. Wait, do I have CI on this? Hold up. I think I have Travis on this. Build was passing though. Oh wait, it's this one. Lobby. Active branches. Where's my non-active branch? Add lobby. Lobby. See, it just passed. It worked. It just works. I really don't understand. Oh, wait, it's working now. What? Was not found in React portal. Oh, okay, that's an other issue. That's important. Why was the CSS broken? The CSS wasn't broken before. And now it isn't broken. Okay, sure. Was it due to this one not working? Hold up. No, it was node modules just fucking died on me. Alright, this feels good, man. Alright, let's try this out. Ready up, countdown kicks in. Is this in a portal now? Should be in a portal. So where's that portal at? Oh, I see an error. Oh, that's the favicon. Okay. So where's that portal, huh? Oh, here. Wait, does it open new portals every time? Uh-oh. Oh, just the first one and the second. What the fuck? It opened two portals. What? That is so interesting. Sure, man. Why not? So where is that portal? Here? Yeah, the portal is here. Okay. So pointer event's none, but I can still select the underlying one. Can somebody tell me why this is wrong? I think this will only work like this on Chrome though, but that is interesting. Okay, so what if I make this completely black? Oh, I think you cannot even see it like that. It doesn't matter that much though. I think this is fine. I can't pointer event this though. So it's just because, so the whole application should have been pointer event. I see, I see. But that's fine. Okay, let's change the countdown timer to something reasonable again. To 5 seconds. I like how the other one is still going. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, ready up. Ready up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're in the game. Okay. That's good. That's nice. Let's commit this. User select. Wait, I thought pointer events would already fix that, but let's go back. Let's try that out. So the game lobby knows. That's ready up. 1,000. Alright. So let's see, huh? So you're saying is this thing is not full screen. So if we're adding user select none. That's weird. I'm actually kind of surprised about this because it is position fixed. It's on a whole screen. It's over everything else. Pointer events none. Yeah, pointer events none. Okay, I'm surprised by this. It's not a big deal though. It is weird though. I'm actually kind of confused. Because you could... Okay, this makes sense. Pointer events none makes so that the background isn't clickable. So then it lets... Chrome just lets you actually select the underlying elements because the parent that is over everything else is pointer events none. So that is like not clickable at all. So then you can still select the bottom one. Because if I turn off pointer events, I can only select this one. Which I'm actually okay with. But we can also just turn on pointer events none or user select none on the text. But I think this is fine. I think selecting the countdown time is like acceptable. Oops. This is another super interesting thing about React. Is that it only updates the things that have actually changed. So make this a little bigger. So right here, this node is not changing. This node instance is still the same. The only thing that's changing is the text content. Or inside the children, there is this text node that is updating. That's the only thing that's updating. This node instance is still the same. And that's why I can still select this. Like this I can still hover over this and this will still be the same, which is super interesting. So I think if I add like a data attribute here, this thing will not be removed. See, it will not re-render this actual div even though it is calling this thing again. So let's say with this countdown, see it's a function that takes children. Children is just there, so you can write this countdown text. This is all children. This is called children, but I could also just write it like this. Yo. You could also write it like this. But so this is just a function, just like before. It's just using the arrow function, but you could also just do it this. You can also do it like this, and this is just destructuring. So all it says here is there's actually props, but it could also be this. So that's all it does. So this is just a function that renders a portal, and then a div, and then another div inside there. with some classes. But because class is a reserved word in JavaScript, we made it, the property is called class name. And then we rendered children inside. This node is actually not changed. So only thing is changed, React sees that this is the only part that changed, so it will update this part. It will just update this text node, not the actual DOM node. So if this were actually to re-render again every single time, this point would be re-rendered, this point would be re-rendered, this point, this thing, and then this data attribute wouldn't even be there anymore. Cool thing is you can also do something like diff children. I don't think it works. I don't think it's necessarily faster with children though. It's only when you have static content when you should do that. So like if you have an icon or like a button with an icon and you compose that into something, you can run the icon as a component that just that just calls a function. So Dan, how's it going? Okay, so this is working. Let's push this. I think this is actually pretty much the last thing we have to do to get this to be merged. I don't think there's any tests in this application. We could do a lot of styling stuff, but honestly, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Boom, okay, that works. We can already play. Beautiful. That's nice. Okay, let's push this. And then we're gonna start on some more like architectural stuff because there's definitely stuff wrong with this application. So some people would hate me for using a GUI for my Git, but it honestly is just whatever works for you, man. It's just whatever works for you. Okay, let's style countdown component. Viewer rate is so high. Good job, Boyd. Yo, thanks, man. Sublux Gamer. I actually don't know what my viewer count is. But that's just programming streams, man. Good old programming streams. But honestly, I was so confused when I started out doing the programming stream today because Twitch changed so much about the games and everything that I don't even know like what is the right section for programming right now. I'm not even sure if I should be like going in game development or creative or programming, because programming is back in the game section too. Before it was creative, and then they had like a programming game inside creative with the hashtags and stuff, but I don't think they follow the hashtag system anymore, so I'm really confused like what to do. So I added this community thing, programming, and then there's creative, and then hope for the best that people actually find you. Okay, there's a couple things I want to change, but let's get this PR out of the door. So let's inspect the PR. That's what I always do, and you should too. Should just stream under IRL. Wait, is this considered IRL? Programming is in the game section. As far as I know, creative is the right game. Yeah, programming was removed. I got an email back in the day when I did programming streams that like programming was created, or programming, the game programming was removed in favor of creative, and then I was pissed because the programming section was actually booming at the time. So they merged it with creative, and then they added an extra like game inside creative, like all those sections that you had to use the hashtags for. And then in programming, people couldn't find me anymore, like because there was so much shit. Like creative was flooded with like the painters and everything that were just having so many viewers that the programming section was like hard to find. And then they apparently added it back, but now it's dead. Which makes total sense because nobody uses it anymore. Yeah, exactly. So now programming is like not used anymore. And then there's game dev, which is I think also not used anymore. So it's like, well, Oh, we don't use terminal for Git. I'm just not very good. I'm just not very good with Git on a command line. I just don't have enough experience. I should. It's faster maybe, but I like my GUI because I can select exactly the lines that I want to change. IRL can be anything, but IRL is even more flooded. So I think creative is decent. Creative with the programming community could work. Paint Sing. I thought Sing was also creative. Gaming is my life, so basically it's IRL. We're all living in IRL, right? Alright, let's check the PR. It's like, I know the commands in Git, but there's so little fancy stuff I do in Git that it's, for me, it's not worth. Oh, I added Lodash for what? Wait, where did I add Lodash? That's the first concern. I don't know what happened to this file. Where did I add Lodash? I just added it to package.json. That's it. What the fuck? Wait, are you kidding me? Okay. Wow, okay, that's classic Boyd. I'm not using this. What the fuck? Yo. Perfect. I'm not even using Lodash. What did I add Lodash for? Add Lodash dependency. And then what? I'm not even using. What the fuck? Wait, where? Why? Hello? Why am I adding Lodash? This is updating master. What the fuck, man? Is there anything in here that uses Lodash? No. Well, fucking back in the time, boy, you're just adding random dependencies for no reason. Fucking fantastic, boys. Alright, so we removed Lodash again. So we added Lodash, removing Lodash. Okay, wait, let me at least build. And see if it starts to complain that Lodash isn't installed. You have a heartbeat, right? So it could fit under IRL? Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck, man? Welcome to Twitch. No errors. Okay, there's a couple of tasks we're gonna do. Okay, it's not erroring out. Fantastic. Okay. I wish I could add the wait what emote to this commit. Wait, what? Program for work too? Yeah, I do. I do. I'm gonna grab myself another water. Talking a lot, that makes me kill myself. Wait, that's actually not what that's not what I meant. I meant like talking so much is gonna end up me dying. That's what I wanted to say. Watching stream and playing Mario Odyssey. Life's good. Nice. Okay. Let's continue checking the PR. Why is this PR so laggy? It's not that big. Okay. So we have Redux utils, and it's exposing these methods. The fuck is Redux utils? Okay. Alright. Okay. That's ugly. But sure. Okay. What's up, Lewis? How's it going? That is a little painful. But sure. So like a Hearthstone public API you're using? No. There is though. There's some third-party API made to get those cards and shit. But right now I just have like cards.js, which just contains an array with a couple cards. And it just adds a random card. What a way of doing things. This fucking app, man. What the fuck? Super interesting. I added ImmutableJS, but I'm barely using ImmutableJS. It's so weird. It's so dumb. Sure, man. Okay. Fuck it. Countdown component seems fine. Nothing too crazy. Just add some CSS and stuff. Nothing too crazy. Form input. What is this component? Form input is a class that has a handle ref method that takes a ref handler and a node. So it takes a ref handler, then returns a function that takes a node, and then it checks if the ref handler is there. If that is the case, I add a class, like a instance variable node, and add the node to it, and then I also call ref handler. So ref handler is probably something that comes from props. Ref handler. Input ref. Yeah, so input ref. Input refs come from props. This is a tiny bit bigger so you guys can see. Seems decent. Fuck. Didn't keep where I was. Perfect. Okay. Sure. We have, okay, form input. What is a form input? Why is it called form input? I think that is the one that I use here. This is probably a form input. So what is a form input? What does that thing render? Form input. It's an input. Feels good, man. So what does it take? What kind of props does it take? Base. I don't even know what that means. Base is a boolean. Base. Of course. Base. Yes. Base. Am I using base? What is base doing? Let's go to form input. What is base? Base. Input base. What is it? What is input base? Styles base. Input. Forms. Input. Input base. Okay. Alright. That is really weird. Because the whole reason you want to use the component form input is to get the base styling, right? Otherwise, if you didn't want the base styling, you could have just used input. Wait, you can actually read your own code so well. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Form input. So whenever base is passed, it renders the input base. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Because I think every single time I use form input, where is that? I will always use base. No, I don't use base here. Oh, I see. Oh, I see now. I see. The reason, why is this not just an input? Full is grouped read only. Why? This is just, wait, if this is, what? Okay, hold up. Where's my React DevTools? Form group renders a div, which is styled as an input. And an input group renders an input. I'm fucking lost, dude. What the fuck? I get why this, but what is the input base? I don't think I have an input base. Oh, base. Where is this one? New player form. Oh, okay. All right. You got me. Oh, this is now Bob. Wait, why is this still Bob? When I open a new incognito, huh? Oh, it's because I already have one open. I was like, why is the state persistent? Okay, this is the base one. What the fuck? I think this is just a normal input. This is the base version of the input. I don't even know what that means. Oh, I don't React DevTools here. Okay, that makes sense. I think, maybe. Does it make sense? I don't know if it makes sense. So REFAC, how's it going? Okay, this is fine, you know? Okay. Sure, man. We'll keep it as is, and then we'll refactor it in another PR. That's interesting. Let's add a concern here. I think I'm gonna comment this to myself because I'm the only one working on this project, but it's an open source project. So if you want to, you can check it out. I think we should move away from having a base prop here because I believe that the input should already have base styling by default. That's the whole point of having this this component in the first place. Sure. Okay, I'm reviewing my own PR. This is fine. You know, this is the restriction in React. You cannot call a ref. If you want to pass refs down, you cannot call the property ref because it's a React default. So that kind of sucks, but there's no other way. Form group has the styling of an input. That is so weird. Why? I don't feel like this is right. I don't think the form. Maybe it does make a little sense. I think it's more an input group. I think this should be renamed to input group. Or maybe the input should just have like a left and right and just always be an input group. But I don't know. Because it's not really dependent on a form. It's more something. It's closer to rendering an input than a form. I wanted to contribute, but you disallowed evil script. Oh yeah, right. Didn't you make an issue? Or a PR? Did you make a PR? 48 closed. Most of it is just like, oh no, it's not. Yeah, this shit. Try fixing code climate. Add card curve. Oh yeah, I remember that. I had such a hard time doing the math for this. The math was so bad. I mean, issue, yeah. Work in progress. Yeah, this part was actually kind of difficult. Look at that, dude. What a time to be alive. That's sick. We got some sick ass code for this. Look at this shit, dude. It's still in here. Fix card alignment curve. Oi oi oi. This one is a nasty one. This one for sure is a nasty one. Okay, let's continue. Reading through reviewing my own code from 2 years ago. 1.5 years ago. So form group can take an array or a node. Game lobby. So this is kind of like a view. Game lobby is more like a view. Oof. What is this? Why? Wait, a div already has a width 100%. What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, let me check. I don't think this is needed. Width height 100%, that's fine. Full size is width height 100%. Lobby, width 100. Display flex, center around. Space around. Why space around? It's only one thing. Why not just justify content center? So what's in the current branch? I will write something when I have time. This branch is just a lobby. Okay, so why is this not 100%? Because I thought by default, div is block. Oh, because it doesn't have flex grow. Oh, we don't have this utility class, obviously. So I have to write CSS for this. Flex grow 1. Easy fix, dude. We don't need those nasty hex anymore. Okay, let's write that. Let's do that. So the game lobby has some CSS. This should be center. I don't know why this is around. Look at this, all this CSS. This is pretty much the same. Almost. This is the same. This is the same. Why not just move those to utility classes, you know? We can already start doing that though. So the game lobby has a wrapper. What is this wrapper for? It is wrapping everything. Ah, I see. Okay. So this should be the lobby inner wrapper. Wait, what a fucking beautiful name. This thing doesn't need a name, but fuck it. The thing is, this thing eventually will have no name, so it doesn't really matter what I call it now. We'll refactor this. Beautiful. New name, and it should work. Beautiful. So no more inline CSS. That's always a good thing. Flex row 1 will fix it for us. Beautiful. Great. Okay, so we got that fixed. Remove inline styles. Always a good refactor. Always a good one. Okay, let's continue. Game lobby has some actions: open friend invite modal and close friend invite modal. Arguable whether or not that should be state. That should be in Redux, because I think it is in Redux now, which is kind of ugly. Do this in like 2 minutes. Tell me your prettier config. Oh yeah, I actually wanted to do that this stream. so it doesn't really matter. I was about to start on this. Yo, Tati TV, thanks so much for the follow. Those are like the things I want to tackle this stream. So like updating Webpack, updating React, updating Prettier, styling my editor. Oh wait, I installed the package, right? Material theme, yeah. Okay, let's continue first. Let's finish this one first. You a professional front end? Yes. I like to think that I am. It says it on my LinkedIn. So I guess it's true. Modal content label. We're just using React Modal for this. Super simple. Easy to use. Player card. Show ready true. This is not a card, is it? This is a card? It's not even a round core. What the fuck? Where are the rounded corners? It's not a card without rounded corners. Okay, that's fine though. We're not gonna change that. Default ready is false. Button is no. Button is no. I think this component is a little weird. Player card takes an avatar. It takes a name, a player name, and then it should take something that is underneath it. And that could be anything really. Like for example, if we have an end game player card, we don't want to have the logic of readying up or the button in there. We just want to have like something that goes underneath the player card, right? So this part should be flexible. This part right here. Player card, like the avatar and the name should be here. That's it. That's all the player card should do. I think this component has too much specific logic in here. This should probably be taken out and should be more composable. I wrote this correctly, right? Yeah. Reviewing my own fucking shit, boys. I think readying up the button, etc., is too much specific to this use case. This should be done when consuming this component. Let's continue. Beautiful. I'm using AMs here. Look at that. What's up, Vincent? How's it going? Where we have our component index, which is just, I think it's just adding some stuff. I think there's a Babel plugin that does this for me. Maybe I should add that because it's kind of a lot of extra stuff. Component manager, countdown manager. Yeah, I think this should not be called countdown manager. I think like the only thing it does, I think I've spoke about this before too, where I first called it countdown and then I called it countdown manager, because all this thing does is just takes care of state and then you can use it somewhere else. But the API does work. But then I think the countdown component is then a little confusing, because you would think that the countdown component would count down stuff, while it's actually just rendering countdown. So, and I think this countdown is really specific to our lobby too. like the countdown that shows up here. I think that's really specific to our lobby. So I feel like this thing should just be called countdown. Should be renamed to countdown. Because I think this component is really good. I think this component is really clever. Because all this thing does, it just takes a function from children, and then it just calls that function with time. And then that time is literally just, so if you go to the game lobby, you can see the usage of it. Just give it a start time, and you can give it an unfinished callback. So like maybe turn it off, or like remove, or can countdown. It's like set to false or some shit. I don't really know what this unfinished is. But all this does, it just returns a function that takes time, and then it renders whatever. You can use your own component here. So the Jinx, how's it going? You can use any component here. And then we're using the countdown component here. But honestly, this shouldn't be the countdown component. Maybe this countdown should just live within this game lobby folder, because it's super specific to the game lobby. And then once we get to the point where this should be reused, then we can move it out to some other component. I think that's the better way of doing things. New player form container. What does that do? It's a form. It renders HTML. What do we all know about containers? Containers don't render anything. This is all UI logic that should live within a normal component. Normal component can have state. This is a problem that I did a year ago. Back in the day, I thought containers were the only ones that have state, but this is not a container. This thing is rendering a form input, and an input button. And it's doing all kinds of logic, but most of this is like UI logic. It's like set the state whenever you change an input, and clear the form when you submit. Why am I clearing the form when I submit? I guess that makes sense. When did I make this? I don't know, actually. I don't know when I started this project. 2 years ago. Directly onto master. No PR was made. Do I have a history of this? When was my first commit? That's a long time. It definitely has been. Definitely has been a long time. 2016. Remove console log on drag layer. How do we go back to the first commit? Is there a way to go all the way back? Initial commit, 16th of March, 2016. It's almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. Okay, this is a really clever component, but the naming is a little iffy. So let's continue reviewing this. Countdown. Should rename to countdown. And then the normal component should probably live inside game lobby until we come across a use case where it should live inside the components folder. Git log reverse? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Start time is by default 0. Component div mount, blah blah blah. New player form. Here's where we were. This shouldn't be this should not be a container. This is all UI logic. It has a little bit of state, like, but this is, yeah, it's just UI state, in my opinion. Just filling in an input, if it's just one input, it's fine. Maybe this should be done. This could probably either be done with a utility higher order component, or like with UI with utility higher order component. I mean, like the React utils. No, it's like utility higher order components. I think it's like React utils recompose. Yeah. So like there's higher order components that have state. Because this is such simple state, I don't think this needs to be a separate component. I think this can be just done on render level even if needed. Or moved to a component. Should definitely not render UI. If it's in a container. Beautiful. All right, root. What do we have here? Yeah, this is a file that a lot of things have changed. So this is gonna be a little bit careful. This is a root level component. It now uses dispatch. It removed the with socket. I think we removed with socket because we now have a with socket higher order component. It has a method called require name. That's interesting. Require name. Where do we use this? So on the game path, we now have require name. Okay, that's interesting, sure. Join game and redirect. Takes an ID. Dispatch join game, redirect to lobby. Fair enough. Create game and redirect. Dispatch fetch new game, redirect to lobby. If there's an error, replace, go back to root. Okay, fair enough. Sure. I honestly have no fucking clue what's going on here, but let's just continue on. So we changed the structure from just slash and then having a start screen and then having a game new and an ID. We now have slash with an index route. We already had that. Start screen. We had a game path, which we already had. And then on enter, it requires a name now. We have a socket provider. So that's new. So that's because of the higher order component for the socket. Here's the socket provider. So this just has context, which is the socket. So this is like globally available if you need it. Because I think that makes sense for like a where was I? For like something that is like global, like a store, I think it makes sense to use a context. To use context. Alright, let's continue. Still makes sense. This still makes sense. We could just make this just an index with just get display name. I don't think this should be a separate file, but sure. I think this should just live in helpers. Like, I don't know why this is a separate file. HSC with socket. So here's the with socket HSC. It's a function. It takes a component, sets a display name, and then it creates a component that takes props, and then it takes the context socket, and then it's all it does. So it just passes the socket to the component. I think later on we should probably remove the socket directly, and then we should have like an API around the socket, so that you could just call methods instead of actually having access to the store, because right now our views that are using with socket have some really nasty stuffs. Game new screen. Are we even using this? Yeah, here. Game lobby screen. So this is a huge container. And this one is really nasty because there's a lot of like over time stuff and based on WebSockets and shit. So I still have to find a way to do this properly because this is really hard to wrap your head around. All this stuff that this is doing. So I think we can maybe make a more composable UI based around like higher order components in render. Which whenever you listen to a channel, it just gives you utility functions. So I'm not sure how we're gonna do this yet, but let me think. So we would have a component. So like socket manager maybe. I like the word manager a lot. And if any of the children inside on, let's see, I'm not sure exactly. Start game. So emit. So this for example could just be socket dot game start and then a game ID instead of like actually emitting here. But I was thinking like maybe are we changing UI state based on sockets? I don't think so. Because I'm thinking of maybe we can leverage all these methods inside the render function to have like a more composable UI. So I was thinking like on. So whenever we want to have game leave, we just render game leave and then it just emits it for us. But maybe it's overkill here. So remove event listeners. God. Like this stuff, for example, remove on-player joined event listener. All these things I want to lever in a component because I can just render and unrender the component and then do component did mount, component did unmount, and just have that managed for me. But I don't know where this is. Player joined. So we could have like player joined, and then when we render this, so when do we want to unrender? Game unmount, leave game, remove event listeners. See, so whenever this component unmounts, we just want to render this. Because then if this component gets mounted, this game lobby screen, if this thing gets unmounted, this thing will have unmounted called, and then this component can just be something like this. I'm not sure if this makes it better though, but it's like managing state within the render method. So it like splits up the logic a little bit. Component will unmount, I think. And then render would just be no. And then this would just have the socket. Or it like takes the socket maybe, and then what was that? Where was this code? Player. Where are we listening to it? Notify on player joined. So this is a socket joined. On player joined. Socket player joined. Something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Listen player joined. And then maybe a callback. I don't know. That kind of sucks. If this is actually super specific logic, yeah, set component name. I think this can be done though. Yeah, I think we can do this. Callback. And then we just do exactly this. And I think this socket manager can already pass the socket to all of its children, so we don't have to pass it ourselves. So then we do prop socket. Sure. On player joined. And then the callback. Beautiful. And then this is like abstracted away, and then exactly here we are gonna remove the event listener. But why all the event listeners? I don't really know. I don't really know why we would remove all of them. But we can just maybe off. I don't know what the method is, or remove event listener. And then this callback function. But then we have to make sure that we cache that fallback function. So you can only pass it on the first render. So you would say like, oops. It would be something like this. Wait, it takes props first, right? Props. Super. Props, args. And then callback is this a props or callback, so we cache that. So there's never, they can never change because otherwise we can't remove it anymore. But that's kind of scary too, because if you were to change it on runtime, then you would all of a sudden have like magic going on. So this is also maybe not the right approach. But then what this would do, this shit would render nothing. This would just manage our state, manage like the socket connections for us. So if we were to under-render this all, it would just call all of these methods, unmount, and it would just remove all the, clean up all the event listeners for us. Which is really interesting. It's a great way of interacting with the like the DOM too. So for example, if you want to render something on the body for some reason, if you have to, like you're working in this legacy app, this is a great way of managing it. So you would have a component like manage DOM. Yeah, manage DOM is fine. Extends React component or something. Call it whatever. Component did mount. Whenever you do this, you pass it a selector. So like document.query selector. This.props.selector. And you would have a core, so this would find the selector, this would find the element, and then maybe you could do like this dot callback props dot manage, no, it's like handle element, and you do this callback, or this wait, you pass it the element, and then component did unmount or will unmount. Well, this is probably too generic, but let's say you would toggle a class like hidden, hide, or like body not scrollable or something like that. You have this component, it takes the body, and then let's just do const because otherwise people are going to be pissed. Body.class list add hidden. No. Overflow hidden or something like that. It just adds this class, and then on component it will unmount, you just remove it. And now you can, in your render function, somewhere in your component, you can render this at the top, and then you will not have a scrollable body anymore. And then you can make this conditional. So let's say you have a modal that opens. So like is open. Then you want to make it not scrollable. So let's say you have this, and then modal is open, is based on is open. Hello world. This way you basically manage you manage side effects within components life cycles. So you're basically making use of component life cycles to manage some sort of side effect. And then the cool thing is you can test these components with just the life cycles. So you can test the interaction with the side effects within this component and then reuse it somewhere else without having to test this separate thing anymore. So now all you have to do is like you can check that this is rendered shallowly. So you can shallow snapshot this and then know like, oh, this thing will make sure that body has now a class name overflow hidden, and it will make sure that it's not scrollable or something like that. Or something else if you want to do, if you have like legacy parts of the application that you want to update, this could be a way of doing that. And then if for example is open is false, so like is open is false, then it will unrender this body not scrollable, and it will remove the overflow hidden again. Which is a really awesome and composable and testable way of like managing your side effects inside your React application, especially if you're dealing with legacy and like having old parts that are not React yet, but you kind of want to interact with them from the from like your new components. For example, input fields or something like that within a form, you just manage those within a component and use the React lifecycles to communicate with them. So no more this component has to do like component did mount and then check for this DOM node and stuff like that. That will all just be done here. This component will handle all that logic, and all you have to do is just render it whenever you want it, when you want it to happen, and unrender it when you don't want it to happen anymore. Okay, I'm not sure we could do this. Maybe we should definitely abstract away the socket instance here. What's up, Pizza Helper? How's it going? Instead of supplying the actual instance here, we should only expose methods that allow for channels that we support, no other channels. This makes it easier to use and doesn't require the consumers to know what channels to talk to. They only check the API, and that's enough. Okay, that's one comment. And then the second one would be, we could also move this, move these socket on calls to a separate React component to do on and off to manage the event handlers or callbacks, like the event callbacks within the React lifecycle. So we can make use of this. Example. Use a capture card for streaming on your MacBook? Yeah, I do. It was actually hard to set up this time because I haven't used it in a while and I couldn't find the right cables. I found this one. This is actually an old, for the old MacBook. This is still my old MacBook, but I apparently had a HDMI version too. Consumer. Alright, that sounds cool. That's something we can explore. I'm not sure if it works for like our socket connections and if it's like it's like a nice API to have, but I guess it works. It's kind of similar to what React Router does now. Like the new React Router is kind of similar. You can declare your routes within the views now. What? Yeah, so here inside topics you now pass a route, which all it does, it doesn't render anything. This route doesn't render anything. This renders null, but it does add the right like declarations of like routing within stuff you are. So the basic example, this router has like routes inside them, but inside topics, this first one, you can also have another set of routes. So match.url and then topic ID. So within topics, you can also have /topic ID. So you don't need like a top level stuff anymore. You just only need it render it when you need it. Since I installed Linux on my laptop, my Windows was crashed, so I made a backup and using Windows only in virtual machine. Ah, I see. You like Linux so far? It's ugly, but sure. Oof. A lot of Redux, a lot of Redux. Oof. Start screen. Start screen got refactored. What do we have here? Go to ref. What the fuck does that mean? Go to ref. Location query ref. What is a ref? Wait, what? Oh, this is a query. Ref is a query. What is ref? Where does ref come from? I don't even know, dude. Oh, I see. I think I know. Let's say I have this and I open it in a window, new window. It creates a ref. I see. So it knows where to send me back to. So if I call Bob now, it goes back to this URL. Yeah, okay. Is ref always used for that shit? I don't know. I guess maybe. It's like referral. It's like referral, I think. What is like, what do you normally get in headers? Referral? When you get redirected to something? Let's do it actually. Whenever I leave, I also have to leave the lobby. I haven't built that yet. We're obviously not like doing a network request, so we can't even tell. Unlucky. Unlucky, we'll never know. I guess ref is fine. Okay. Go to ref, that's fine, I guess. Should probably clarify this method a little more. Seems a bit vague. Just marking it as something we can do here. Made a choice to install Windows on my VM with my second SSD that made it really faster. Doable and use Linux mostly at work, at home. I see. This is ugly. I think we just use NN here, right? Let's try that. I think that's worth changing. Pretty sure we can do that. Maybe it doesn't work because it's a string, but we'll see. Oh my god. Prettier is not liking it. Something. Fuck, I'm formatting with Prettier automatically. Format on paste, format on save. Okay, let's turn those off real quick. Because otherwise Prettier's... That's also something we should fix. Because it stops rendering whenever there's an arrow pen. She's like super awkward. Okay, let's see. See, it renders correctly. So whenever I have no name, does it work? Welcome to Hearthstone. Yeah, it does work. Perfect. Another improvement, boys. Oh, my Prettier did a lot of stuff. Okay, let's discard this and then go back and then just make this simple change. And stay in the style that we're already in and then add Prettier later. Yeah. Okay, let's test if this still works. Should still work. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, let's commit this. Remove unnecessary ternary. Simple change. Simple change. I think the rest is all kind of fine. Is this gonna be render a button with a link to inside? Or with a, yeah, I think it's gonna render a ref inside, right? Yeah, that's super bad. That is really bad. That is pretty bad. This is also kind of ugly though. Time for food? Yo, catch you later. Oh, I should actually also go for food. I still have to cook lasagna, so that's gonna take forever. Oh shit, I'm gonna be so fucked. Okay, let's go back with this change. It doesn't really matter that much. It's not blocking or anything. It's kind of ugly, but we should not render a tag inside a button tag. I don't know what I was doing back in the day, man. New player form. on action handler, on game start handler. Moved a lot of this logic away. I'm now admitting stuff myself to this socket. Enemy player whenever somebody joined. Game leave, game start. Let's start the game, get player count. Define plugin development. Beautiful, we're always in development. We're just always in development, boys. We should have a production build as well later. Alright, I think we're good. I think none of these are really important, but it's nice to track them down while working on this, while merging this PR, to have some comments about concerns that we already had at the time, because this is kind of awkward. But I think it's mergeable. I think it's mergeable. It's working. It's cool. Updated 12 November. We can now update this README too. Updated on 18th of February. Feb. Yeah, okay. I was like so confused for a sec. Just making sure. 2018. Oh wow. Okay. Should we record a new GIF? I'm not sure. Maybe we should. We definitely need a screenshot, because like if you go to the repo now, the screenshot is really nice. Like this GIF right here. This is pretty cool. So we'll do the GIF later. We need a new GIF because it definitely attracts people. Update README current progress. Alright, let's push this and then add a comment. And then we're good to go. What's up, Technics? How's it going? Let me grab myself some water again. I need to stay hydrated. All right. This GIF should be updated because it does not represent the current state very well. Needs more visuals on the actual game. Malgushi, how are you? Was kitesurfing nice? Yeah, dude, kitesurfing was amazing. Oh, it should have just been a comment, but it's fine. All right, I think we can merge. Let's do it. Oh my lord. I can't believe this day has finally come. Let's wait until this PR goes through CI and finishes. We don't have tests, we only have ESLint. It's just kind of awkward. Oh, it passed. Oh, do we have more? No. We're good. Squash and merge? Sounds like a good idea. A lot of commits. Squash and merge, boys. All these comments, man. Wait, what? Perfect. Merge that shit. Beautiful. It's out. It's finally done. Look at that, 10 seconds ago. That has been a while. That has definitely been a while since we've updated this one. Right, I've done a lot less than I wanted to do, but I've explained a lot of stuff, so that's good. There's still a couple of issues here. This one, for example. This one's kind of awkward. On Windows, people are having problems. Alright, this should be an easy one. Prettier should only be installed in def, right? Oh wait, they have an actual page for this. Wow, that's cool, man. Prettier is super awesome. It's really nice. It's really a nice package. So Prettier does, it formats your code following a standard, and then you can add like pre-commit hooks to enforce this, which is really cool. So you never have to like care about this shit anymore. I don't like pre-commit hooks though that much. Because it automatically like adds git adds. So you git add. Currently there's a limitation where if you stage specific lines, this approach will stage the whole file after formatting. Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem. Pre-commit Python version. Oh, here we go. Precise commits. Somebody actually made this. Oh my god. Oof. Okay, let's try this out. Holy shit, this is amazing. This is actually amazing. If this shit works, I'm the happiest man alive. Arbitrary commands. That's amazing, because now I can just select the lines that I want to commit and then still benefit from having Prettier. Alright, let's add this to package.json. Scripts. Okay. What's next? This is really cool though. If this actually works, I'm super excited. Or open a bash script. Okay, this is all we need, right? We need ESLint though. With this working out with ESLint. And we need a config. So our configuration file. Here we go. Prettier RC. Let's go. Let's add that too. Yep. Prettier bars ESLint's override format. Okay, let's see. So what fucking things can we set? I can't remember. Options. Print width is by default 80. This is by default 2, so that's good. Tabs by default false. Semicolon by default true. That's nice. Quotes, single quotes. Use single quotes instead of double quotes. False. We want quotes to be true. Oh, and we want trailing commas is 5. Is 5. We want bracket spacing is fine. We want object literals, sure, that's good. J6 brackets false, sure. Arrow function parentheses. Omit parentheses when possible, sure. Format only segment of a file. I don't fucking know. Parser, flow. Both Babylon and Flow parse the same set of JavaScript features, including Flow. I don't know which one matters. I think we can just get rid of this. I don't think this matters to us. I think this is good enough. By default, Prettier will wrap markdown text as is, since some services like line break sensitive renderer. Okay, whatever. This is good enough. I think this is good. I think we're good. Okay, I think we now need support for ESLint and like Prettier ESLint, I think. Because otherwise it's gonna conflict. It's gonna have conflicting rules. Code, Prettier, ESLint, fix, formatted code. Maybe, I don't know, honestly. Prettier, ESLint, config. Turns off all the rules that are unnecessary and might conflict with Prettier. Is this what people use? Is this from Prettier? So I guess this works. Okay, let's do this. Yarn add D. Rob Gasser, man. I fucking love Rob Gasser. And then it's already over. That song was too good. And then inside your ESLint RC, we add Prettier. Okay. ESLint RC. Extends array, Airbnb, and Prettier. What's up, Ad Magician? How's it going? Okay, I think we're good. This is obviously not allowed in JSON, but it's working. Is there comments in JSON? Oh well. Let's see if this works. So let's run ESLint fix, or do we really need this? Alright, let's just run yarnlint, see what works. Shit's gonna break? No, we're good. We're good, kind of. Alright, alright. So let's run Prettier on a file. Wait, let's try and run ESLint fix, and let's add that thing to it. Pretty good, how's it going? It's going pretty well. It's fun to revive an old project. I don't know if we need this, but let's just do it anyways. Usage. I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this. Yarn remove. Oh, you just remove it? Oh. Okay, let's try and run this. Did some WordPress theme development. I'm going to have nightmares at night. Yo, know the feel, man. We've all been there. It's okay. We've all been there. Okay, let's do EaseLint fix source. Oof, what happened? No files were fixed. Hey, come on, man. File, directory. See, we did directory, right? Why is it not working? I guess we might need that. This one. Let's try it out. Let's add it and then try and run and fix again. Give it to me, baby. Fix all my files. I don't want to like manually run this. It didn't do shit. It didn't do shit. How about no path? Just everywhere. Fix it everywhere. I'm gonna regret this so much. Oh fuck. I'm gonna regret this so much. I didn't fix anything, and just run. It has 2,631 errors. It's probably mostly from the dist. Yeah, this is from dist. It actually started like trying to EaseLint my my dist files. Yeah, the bundle. That's only. It actually checked the fucking bundle.js, which is like huge. Just one line. This file. Of course, there's errors in there because I didn't write it. Okay, let's remove it again because apparently it doesn't work. Let's let's just use it. Let's just use the command line. CLI. Config. Yes. Prettier. Oh, I don't have my bin, my node modules bin in here, in my path. But it's fine. Just do it like this. Boy, it didn't write it. Feels good, man. Alright, the config is obviously... Oh, it's not showing up. Prettier. God damn it. Dot prettier RC. And then source. Does that work? Or do I need to... Can I do a whole folder? Let's hope we can do a whole folder. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, it only showed. Can I save? Right. Here we go, dude. Actually, you can fix anything. Okay, you cannot fix HTML. But you can fix all the JavaScript then, that's fine. Oh shit. prettiered all my stuff. Look at that. Feels good, man. All right, let's hope for the best we don't get any errors. So if we open app.js now, it's gonna complain about errors. No errors so far. ESLint right? Yeah, sorry. Prettier ESLint right instead of fix. Wait. Oh, okay. So I can use prettier ESLint. But what does prettier ESLint do? It removes all the conflicting stuff, right? Fuck it, let's try it. Let's try it again. Let's add it back. We've added and removed it for like 50 times already, but oh well. Let's do it again. But welcome, Syrian. How's it going? Let's just do it again. Node modules, bin, oh, bin, ESLint, prettier ESLint. Whoa, 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 whoa. Prettier is. There's no bin. I don't think it works. There's no binary. I think it's supposed to work like ESLint fix. Oh well. Prettier ESLint. Let's try it out. See, there's no prettier ESLint. So where's the binary live? Nah, no. What the fuck? Okay, that's a lot. Let's not do that. Okay, well, fuck it. Let's uninstall it again. We've added and removed this file so many times. This fucking package so many times. What's up, Horst? Oh, we're not in the root of this project anymore. Let's remove it again. Woo! Let's do it. I think this is more like whenever you want to run this, for example, like in an... Oh yeah, we need to CLI for this. So yeah, that's what I thought. Doesn't matter though, I think. All right, let's see what's gonna happen with this. So we added precise commands. Add prettier dependencies and pre-commit. It's now formatting. Did it format the package.json too? No, that's good. We good shit. Okay, now let's see. Doing fine, just had family over for my birthday. That was on Friday. Hey, happy belated birthday, my dude. What's up, boss tube? Alright, let's commit all these files. Fix all the things. Prettier. Style fix. It's gonna run all over all these files again. Okay, let's rerun. It didn't fix one file. Syntax error.
Well, we're live. Whoa!
Who's son? Horst, my man, welcome back to the cast community for 40 years. What the fuck, man? 40 years of resubscribing. Welcome back. What the actual fuck, dude? Welcome back to the cast you made it for 40 years of recent streaming! That was crazy, man. Holy shit. Okay, something broke. Syntax error. In what file again? Fuck me, dude. In the Redux something folder. Seems like in the Redux middlewares folder. No, these are just the middleware. Configure here. Disable global record. Oh shit, it added a semicolon here. What the heck? Oh shit, what the fuck? Hold up. I think this is correct, right? Isn't this correct? Unexpected token. You have this, and then this, and then this. How is this broken? This is, oh, wait. There we go. Okay, this is kind of spooky, but let's commit. Oh! Expected token. This one. This one. Oh. There you go, right? There we go. We're missing one. What the fuck? This is supposed to fix my code. Oh. What the fuck? It's so buggy. This thing is so bugged. It adds a second semicolon. What the fuck? Alright, you know what? Disable next line. Fixed. And now we move it back and then we just run it again. Please don't break. Thank you. It was literally breaking because there was a fucking comment at the end of the code. What the fuck, man? Okay, now we gotta check if it still works. How's your new mixer thing going? It's going well, man. What the fuck? I thought prettier was like, you couldn't break prettier. But apparently you can't. That's new. Oh, it compiled. It is working. Okay, so what if I change the reducer? Because that's what this code is doing. If hot reloading is on, and I change the reducer. Yo, Michael Easy, thanks so much for the host. How was your stream? If you were streaming, I don't know, hosts are not popping up in my chat. It's so weird. I can't really tell what's going on. But thank you so much for the host, dude. How was your stream? Yo, if you guys haven't checked out Michael Easy yet, check him out. I can't type. My keyboard is so far away. Check him out. Fantastic streamer. He's really good in Overwatch. He's really good at it. I haven't actually seen him stream anything else. Something true. Let's see if that works. So change reducers on the fly. I don't have the Redux DevTools, but I can definitely just check the store from here. Console, please. No, we're not allowed to open a console. Thank you. Store, props.store, and then get state. Give me the state. I don't see something in here. Maybe I'm missing something. It did some hot reloading. It's rebuilding. It's hot module reloaded, but something true is not there. But honestly, we can go back to master and then see if it was broken there. Because honestly, I think hot module reloading was already broken there anyways. Because something true is not a reducer. Oh, that's right. No, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it is. Combined reducers. Yeah, you're right. Huh. That's true. Sorry, my bad. Forgot this was a combined reducer. Let's hack all the things, dude. Yeah, we're designing some hacks, man. Stop planned radio. How's it going? Wait, it's planned radionics. I like that name. Is this allowed? This is allowed. I think this is allowed. But we can just remove one of those. Props.store.get state. What's your answer? Something is true. Okay, so if I remove this, it should hot module reload and just give me a new store. Little shit. Give me a new store. It's just for provider. Provider is fine too. Provider has a store. Props.store. Get state. What's your state, you little shit? It is actually working. Hot module reloading is actually working. Wow, okay, that's that's honestly actually surprising to me, even. I wrote this code to make it work, but I didn't know it would actually work. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. That's cool. Okay, so prettier fixed. So let's make a code change now and commit it. Let's hope this formats. It's gonna write really ugly code here. What is like really ugly code? I don't know how to write ugly code anymore. Oh, let's do a fuck ton of indentations. That's ugly. Oh, that's actually all we need. So this already fucked ton of like spaces here. True. Okay, let's see if this commits. Yo. It's gonna format it for us. Oh, it didn't actually format. It just made the commit happen. What the fuck? Okay, Boyd, it's nice to see you programming again. I'm going to go and catch you later. Yo, peace out, Cozy. Thanks so much for hanging out. What the fuck? Okay, this doesn't work. Why does it not work? Is the real question. Okay, let's start reading the documentation for that package that we added called precise commits. Maybe it doesn't work with my GUI. Oh. It's an amazing tool, blah blah blah. Increase the complexity and review time burden of PR on senior team members. Potentially increase the amount of time it takes to complete a PR in the first place. Oh, so this one, if I made a change on line 10 of a 4,000 line file, it should not be forced to format all 4,000 lines. Wow, okay, so that's what it does. Okay. That is actually really interesting. We don't really need that though. I really should fucking start cooking because I have lasagna to make. Okay. For some reason it doesn't work though. Pre-commit, press size, commits. Husky, pre-commit. Do I have Husky? I do have Husky. Lasagna? Yeah, lasagna. Oh shit, wait, this is not a heart ad. Oh, that's bad. Oof. Okay, we should fix that in a different PR though. So it added all those things. Precise commands. Yeah, it's supposed to work. Maybe this is how it's supposed to work, but I don't like it that much. That kind of sucks. Kind of sad about this. Because I guess it might make sense, but I don't know why Git adds the other one. Because it did format, and you kind of have to like pick your lines again, because that kind of makes sense, but because I don't think it knows like what is part of what should be Git added. All right, let's just go over it the normal prettier way then. That's fine, and then we'll figure it out later. Where was the pre-commit part? Pre-commit hook. All right, let Git add lint stage as well. Sure. Oh, yarn add D. I should add my yarn global config to only add like stuff like with hard versioning, because now it has like those carrots. I don't like seeing those carrots. Okay, so let's add this part to our package.json. Now let's run it. Yo, one Karabah, thanks so much for follow. Add lint staged dependency. And Ben Shaws, thanks so much for follow as well. Did it just add the other file? It did. Fuck. Beautiful. And then we also did add pre-commit hook for prettier, I guess. Beautiful. And now we're just gonna change the file again. Random ugly ass file. Let's see if prettier actually starts to prettify our files. Yo. It doesn't work. Yo, Dutch Mattis, thanks so much for follow. Maybe I have to restart. Maybe the CLI is just broken. It did fix it, but Git added the wrong file. See, it fixed the file, but Git added the wrong one. Been teaching myself programming for the past week and just came across your channel. Oh shit, which one? On YouTube or here on Twitch? Do you know any languages aside from Java? This is not Java. This is JavaScript. It's something completely different. But I do know other languages, yes. I'm currently in the process of learning what's up, player fan? How's it going? I'm currently learning Elixir. It's a functional language.
Everyone, get in here!
Yo, Planned Radionics, thanks so much for follow as well. Twitch, cool so far? Yo, thanks a lot, man. I have a coding YouTube where I upload all of the previous VODs. I think it's a little out of order, but I tried to get back to it. But appreciate it, man. Glad you enjoy it. If you have any questions, just feel free to hit me up, man. No, that's my other YouTube. It's like coding YouTube, I think. Yeah, that one. Oh, that channel needs to be changed because I think I already have a nicer URL. Just code cats. Yeah, that already works. Diddly Bits, thanks so much for the follow, man. Welcome. Edit con coding YouTube. Subscribe to my coding YouTube. It's not very active, but it's there. This is interesting though. So what are you currently working on, Ben? What is like your current project? What are you learning? I'm really confused, honestly. Like, pretty or quick? Is this better? Other tools on top of prettier. Pretty or quick? Let's do pretty or quick. Fuck it. Actually, do I need prettier on top of this? No, this is like adding extra stuff. I don't know why this doesn't work, though. That is really strange. Maybe it didn't actually do the git. No, it did do the git hook because it did do the git hook because I actually got my my files like prettified. It's supposed to run these two. I'm in a coding bootcamp at the moment where our capstone focus is the MERN stack. We spend a lot of time on some legacy stuff like jQuery. Some of my developer friends say that I should spend my time learning React instead of fooling with older technologies. I mean, in the end, you're just writing JavaScript. Apart from the fact that you're using jQuery. But it is true in some sense, but I wouldn't say that you would want to learn React or something. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you improve on writing code, that's all that's important. Like, jQuery is old and you shouldn't really use jQuery, but it gets a lot of concepts where it simplifies a lot of stuff. So if you're just in the beginner stages or like you want to learn programming, then I think jQuery is completely fine, man. It's as long as you don't use like this super crazy stuff, I think you should be fine. Like, don't use too much of the crazy stuff, like custom events from jQuery or something like that. Just don't use them. But as long as you just use them for selecting selectors and stuff, adding classes, removing classes, like sure. Ajax calls, sure, man. But as soon as you start like fucking adding event listeners to like Ajax complete and stuff like that, it's like, okay, that's getting a hard. That's like asking for problems. Like, we have a lot of legacy in our application at work, and one of those problems is like people adding event listeners to like those global events. So like Ajax complete and stuff like that. That's just not normal JavaScript. That's just some jQuery specific stuff, and you would rather not want to do that because it's really hard to remove later on. because it's so scary to touch those parts later on if your system depends on it. So like if you're just doing toggling classes, like obviously you can easily do that in normal JavaScript too, but selectors and stuff, yeah, it's like if you need the older browser support, I mean, if it's already in a project, why not? Remember seeing something similar. One of my other graphs is that we won't spend much time on ES6. Okay, that is kind of bad because that is actually the future. So like if you're, then you're kind of like getting yourself stuck into this old habit and not like looking forward to what's coming up. But the problem is with writing ES6 code is that it's not cross browsers compatible yet. Like most stuff is not in all browsers yet, so you would need a compiler, and then that's almost for some projects that's just too much of a hassle to set up. Yet. It just depends on what your project has, like as a browser support. So if it's just the latest browsers, I think you can already write, like even modules are already in Chrome. I found a really good book teaching Python. Short chapter followed by a 12-question online lesson. Just decided to go to school for CS. That's cool, man. That's nice. I mean, I've never done computer science, and it's definitely something I would like to learn some more. Like just the computer science basics and stuff. It's like you learn while you do it, but like you're just missing so much. Like the thing that I studied was communication and multimedia design, so we got backend programming, but it wasn't like computer science stuff. So it wasn't like typed languages. It was Ruby, super practical lessons, because we had to get a project out, you know, like we just got like a real client, and then we had to bootstrap an application. So we just Ruby on Rails, bootstrap this application, get it out of the door, and learn stuff on the fly. Like, it's perfect. It's amazing. I've learned so much through all these projects, and I think I would rather go for this approach than go into computer science way, because I've learned so much stuff besides just computer science stuff, and I can always learn that later. You know, like bootstrapping a project, working with clients, like knowing what projects need and stuff like that. That's so much more valuable in my opinion than just basic computer science stuff if you're not just going for backend programming like me. So if all you want to do is program, then go computer science. But if you want to, yeah, like I think you learn at a computer science study, you also learn how to like work together a little bit. But like in our projects, you actually had a client to work with, so you had to deliver. You had to work with Scrum, and like you had to force yourself to get this thing out of the door and work overtime, order pizzas at uni and stuff like that. Just work together. And I think you would have that at computer science too, but up to a different degree, I think. So like I'm missing kind of the computer science basics, memory addresses and whatnot, but on the other hand, I did know like how to work together with designers, how to work together with front-end developers, and what frameworks to pick in what situations and stuff like that. And like you will learn those other things like type languages and stuff you will come across them anyways, and you will start to understand a lot more and a lot better. But yeah, that's just my take on it. Like if you really just want to learn how to program, then computer science is your thing. I mean, you learn so much about the computer, like programming for the computer and structuring stuff and algorithms and everything. And I think that's super exciting for me now. But I think the stuff that I learned at uni at the time was a lot more valuable for me than going into computer science, because I think I would just die. Because I started out as a designer, so like from just photoshopping and sketching and all that shit and talking to clients and everything, going into computer science, I think it would just kill my creativity completely. What's up, Famous? How's it going? What am I working on now? We're just adding tools. Like, this is a year-old project, and its code is super messy, and I'm missing a lot of the tools that I use nowadays. So we're trying to slowly integrate this. Running into some issues, though. We're trying to get Prettier to work, but for some reason it doesn't work. Even with the super basic examples. So if you're not familiar with Prettier, Prettier is just formatting your files for you. It's fantastic. You don't have to care about, like, you can write this shitty code. Like, you can just write something and then have like a ton of spaces here, and then have this, and then have a lot of enters here, and then a lot of spaces, and then return true. And then when you save this, you see this, and then when I commit this, so it runs Prettier, and all of a sudden this file is like this, and you're like, wow, okay, that's great. That is just so useful. Are you from the Netherlands? Yes, I am. I am indeed. That's the best developer's excuse. I don't know why it's not working. It's more like, I don't know why this is working. It's like sometimes you expect something to break, and then it is actually working. This time it's not working though, but I've had times where I thought, I don't know why this is working. Which is even scarier than probably like, I don't know why this is not working. Maybe we should just try this one. Fuck it. Let's just try the pretty quick version. Clean your code automatically every time you save. I know. I do have that, but I wanted to have it on git pre-commit too. Because then other people, if they don't have their editor set up correctly, I will have to ask them manually, like, hey, can you please run Prettier? Because I want my code to run. Maybe I just remove the pre-commit and just make sure that people have to run the command. Think that's more effective? I don't necessarily agree. Like, if you work together and you cannot expect everybody to add those Prettier commands in your editor. Like, not everybody wants that, and if people want to contribute, then I have to somehow enforce it. Let's try this out. Oh wait, I was doing precise commit still. Oh, hold on a minute. Of course it wasn't working. Alright, let's try again. Let's write some ugly ass code, boys. Root reducer. Let's write some ugly code. Yo. Let's have some spaces here. Oh wait, this is actually broken code. Whoops. All right, let's try it out. Work. It works. Okay, it wasn't working because I hadn't updated this one yet. Okay, so we can remove all these packages. Let's remove precise commit. It's awesome, but we still have to find a way to make it work. And remove the other one too, which is the one that we just added. Pretty quick. What project are you referring to? So at our uni, companies could actually go to our uni and just pay the students to do a project. Well, they would pay the school, and then we wouldn't get anything, obviously, because we're studying. But I think they would pay like €1,000 for a project, and then the school would check the projects for whether or not they were challenging enough to make us learn our goals. So if the project is just to make a website, that's not good enough to make a project. So it needs to involve research. It needs to involve like sort of concepting phase. It needs to involve design. It needs to involve actually producing something. It needs to involve like project management and everything. So the school would test for these kinds of projects. Yo, Famas, thanks so much for the follow. So it would be like projects like you have a soccer club or football if you're American, or no, football if you're English, soccer if you're American. And then you would, they would come up with a problem like, oh, the amount of people coming to our football club, the amount of new memberships is too low. Like it seems like we're not reaching our younger, like this generation. Help us with a solution. And that was like the problem. That's like all we got as like a project. Deliver it within 3 months. So you needed a phase of like researching who are they talking about? What is like their potential new members? Like kids between the age of blah blah blah. Research those kids. What do they need? What are they looking for? What platforms do they use? Do they need like marketing? Do we need TV commercials, YouTubes, vlogs, everything? You come into concept phase where you think about a solution. It can be anything. And we had like minors in between. So I was following the next web minor, which is projects tailored to like web-based stuff, which is like iOS apps and like websites and stuff. But it could be anything. You could make a solution that we might come to the conclusion that a game fits better for those, for the target audience. So like those projects were more tailored around solving a problem, using research, using concepts, getting to the core of like what you're trying to do, iterate fast and stuff like that. Getting in contact with the potential people, like go and talk to those kids. Why are they not signing up for a football club anymore? So instead of just like sitting behind your computer trying to write code, you would actually get super excited about the why you're building something, or like you came up with this fucking crazy amazing idea with a team of 6 people to like solve a specific problem where the business actually which the business is actually going to use. Like the football club is actually going to use your product in order to get to that market. So for example, for the soccer club, we might make an app, like a phone application, like a game phone application that would make them play soccer on their phone and then share the score with their friends, so they have their friends inside. And then if you were a member of that club, you would get something extra or something like that. That could be something. If that comes out of research that they need this extra, if once their friends are in the club, then other people will follow, then sure, just do that, you know? So these kinds of projects were the projects that we were working on, which is like super cool. All right, let's update these. So the work was working. We're obviously not going to commit this. Fix pre-commit hook. Beautiful. All right, let's make a PR for this. And then we're gonna stop because it's already almost 8 and it's gonna take like more than an hour to make the lasagna. Because that thing has to be in the oven for like 45 minutes. Making that thing is gonna be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Fuck. I'm gonna eat late today. I'm not gonna be a happy man. Maybe I should just order something. Should I order something, chat? I never order. Recently started a project with React and Redux. The website keeps track of all sorts of real-time information like Twitter mentions, emails, cryptocurrency, etc. Nice. What's the goal you're trying to solve with that? Just information tracking of real-time stuff. Fixes prettier. PR adds prettier as a pre-commit hook and sets up some defaults. I wonder if this is going to conflict with ESLint, but we'll see. We'll see what CI says. Well, we can already test though. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything these days with so many sources of information. I don't agree. I don't have that problem. Building it with 2 friends is for a competition, the Spin Awards. I mean, it sounds like a cool project. I'm just not sure what we're trying to solve here. Because I think we slowly agreed on the fact that we kind of want to have separate apps for everything you do. Because otherwise you're going to have one tool that does everything. Which in the end is not scalable, and it's... But I don't know. I don't see it as something that is a problem. I see like people using dashboards for all the cryptocurrencies and shit, sure. But like something like Twitter mentions emails, like, seems completely out of scope. For me, at least. But I think there's already platforms where you can check all the cryptocurrencies, so that's also not something new. But it sounds like a cool project. I mean, development-wise, it sounds like really cool. I'm just not sure about like project-wise. I'm just not sure. Cause I'm not sure if it's important to anyone to use it. But development-wise, it sounds fucking awesome. Connecting to all these services and like handling errors and just formatting, boys. Cool. I'm gonna call it here. Title says it all. Add prettier. Cool. I'm gonna call it here. Let's see if we can host someone. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys wanna if you guys like the stream, feel free to follow. And if you guys want more of this, let me know. I have a coding YouTube channel if you guys haven't checked it out yet, where I uploaded all the previous streams. I'm probably gonna upload this one tomorrow because I've made it a lot easier for myself. I start and stop, and I use like non-copyrighted music now, which also makes stuff a lot easier. So I'm probably gonna upload them the next day. So tomorrow or today I'll upload them, and then they'll be live tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Let's see if we can host someone, and then we're gonna be Gucci. Who is a fun streamer? Should we host someone that's also programming? Or should we host Foxy? Do you guys like Fortnite? Fortnite is kind of cool. Let's host Foxy. Foxy is part of the Infinium stream team. She's my fellow team member. Really cool streamer. Plays a lot of plays PUBG, plays Fortnite. She sings every now and then. She does all kinds of stuff. Check her out. Fantastic streamer. Le Clumsy Fox. Give her a follow. She's a fantastic streamer. Join in the raid. And yeah, check us out. Check out the Infinium Discord if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys tomorrow with another stream. Definitely a gaming stream though, not a programming stream. But maybe I'll pick up the programming streams in the weekends again. It's definitely been fun. And see you guys next time. Bye bye.
falling in September.